So boss, hi. So
what's up?
since I'm leaving, I'm leaving to Europe, right? So I would like to have a conversation about what are you expecting for the next person to join in
The next
as
HR person, the HR leader for
yes,
for
to head the
Leaderonomics.
HR team. Yeah, so I'm very happy to have headed it for the past few months, and I'm so sorry to leave soon.
Yeah.
But it's
Europe awaits, you know. Okay, never mind.
So let's describe what's this job about then, from your point of view.
Well, I think HR is changing, right? So to me, a HR person needs to be not just good in psychology or understanding people or behavior, right? But they also need to understand analytics. So they need to understand, some sort of financial acumen,
Right.
the ability to dissect and be able to analyze and go deep. They also need to have some technology understanding because everything is systemic, everything is using technology. We are driving. HR's job is to understand employees and leverage them, be able to leverage them fully. So I think it's important to have that data science ability or the business, and also understand business, right? Your job is to be able to enable the business to grow, enable the business to scale. So what's the business acumen? So the coupling of technology, business, finance, and also psychology or behavior, right? Together with fundamental HR skills, the competencies of a HR person, right? Is what makes a great HR leader. So if you ask me, Leaderonomics is, we are at the cusp of being able to create 21st century HR. So what's 21st century HR, right? 21st HR has three big areas. To me, it's about driving competence of our employees. It's about driving commitment of our employees, enabling employees to be truly committed to the cause, to what we do and how we do it, right? And finally, the most important is to be able to contribute to the company. Contribute in terms of the business model, in terms of leadership, enabling better leadership, the culture, driving the right culture, and also the right structure. So to me, it's an exciting time for HR, right? Because technology will play a big role in enabling us to be able to piece a number of things together. We also get to build digital assessments, in terms of 21st century digital assessments, so that we are able to give to the business leaders insights on their employees. And then the data will enable us to build better competence because each person is different, So we need to be contextual to each person, enabling you to grow in a different way, Jit to grow in a different way. Everybody has to be grown in a different way, right? But we need to know how and why and what way we need to grow these guys, right? So to me, this is an exciting role because to me, it's really about prototyping the future of HR.
Okay, so you mentioned the three things for employees to be competent, for them to be committed, and to contribute. Yeah, the three C's. So, what do you think the HR person joining us? What would they learn from this job?
I think that this is going to be interesting because to me, that person needs to be adaptable and flexible.
Right.
Because a lot of things that we think we know in HR, we have to unlearn. Right? Because we think that we have to do this training, this analysis, but that's true. No, you really need to understand what business strategy is, and then tail it down until you come to learning interventions, right? And that causes you to say, hey, we have a process. This is how we used to do it in this company or that company. But when you're trying to build something new, when you're trying to take an organization now, just look at the future of work, right? Today we pay employees work based on time, right? But the new HR is going to be an output-based HR, meaning I'm going to pay employees based on output. The more you produce, the more you get paid. Right? Because your value is dependent on your output, not on the time you put in. So even if you come to work at 8 and leave at 12 midnight, but you have one output, whereas somebody comes in at 8 and leaves at 9 a.m., works 1 hour, but has 10 output, the guy who gets better output needs to be compensated correctly. But it requires HR to understand the value of each role. What is the key value that each role, where is value created? Where is the output created? What is the output? And then be able to measure it accordingly. So there's a lot of things, and a lot of it is technology heavy, right? So you're going to definitely learn a lot about technology. Definitely going to learn about data, sorting data, managing data, understanding data, applying implications for what the data tell us. But I think more importantly, we will also try to be able to become business partners. Because a lot of time HR is unable to be the right business partner because we are sitting at the background and we're trying to make sense of what has happened. Not really trying to be predictive and saying, let's actually build the future. And business partners think from an outside-in perspective, not from an inside-out. So it's not just taking care of employees and your line managers, but really looking at the entire constituents of Leaderonomics, right? And how we can help them. So I think it's going to be an exciting, it's a challenging role, but definitely something. And to me, I'm committed to work together with this person, whoever it is, whatever size and shape or form or whichever, if it's an alien from Mars, but they have that right. Capacity to learn, to grow, and to want to change. We will bring that alien from
so
Mars
the first thing
to
is,
Malaysia.
whoever the alien is, they need to unlearn whatever they learn.
They might, they
Yes.
might. Okay, so I'm not trying to be presumptuous because there might be folks that actually have some great insights. Some organizations have actually thought about this a little bit. Google has Project Aristotle, and there's a couple of organizations that have already started thinking about the future of HR.
Yeah.
But to implement it, to execute it, to make it come alive, not many have done that.
Right.
So very likely we won't be able to have somebody say, "I've done this before." Unlikely.
Right.
Because we're trying to build something that doesn't exist, right?
Right. Okay. So just to sum it up, what sort of experiences that they can gain by joining us as a HR lead here?
So I think the good news is that I think spending a year, 2 years in this role, but you will definitely be able to see things in a different light. Firstly, you will gain significant insights to understand how the HR space needs to be changing and how you can change according to that space. So if it's a HR person who's been doing HR, we're going to spend a lot of time learning technology, learning a lot of stuff related to finance and business. If you are a person very deep in finance, so I'm not limiting the HR person to somebody in the HR space.
Yeah.
Can be a person deep in finance and can be a data scientist. Potentially, say let's give you some psychology, understanding of behaviors, understanding of emotions, understanding of motivation, and then learn a little bit of business and coupling of that to make this HR function a very powerful function. You're going to lead a team. So you got a couple of folks, but how do you then engage that team to execute? Because the key is, how do you build a new culture? How do you build this new B culture that we are building in Leaderonomics?
Yeah.
How do you then be able to translate that culture to driving results? Because that's the key, right? To drive the business agenda. Leaderonomics is at an interesting perspective, right? We are we want to get into 5 countries. We want to expand our footprint to 5 countries in the next couple of years, right? We want to grow 10x our business, right? So there's a number of things. We're building our digital footprint, some exciting stuff. We are raising capital. There's a whole bunch of things that are happening with Leaderonomics Digital and Leaderonomics Media and a bunch of other areas, right? So we're morphing in it's a complex 8, 9 different business units, a little bit of complexity, but actually at the heart of it, it's same, right? We have to drive values, we have to drive culture, we have to drive enabling employees to drive their competence in their space, the ability to be committed to drive the business forward, but also to provide that contribution again.
Okay, thank you, boss.
All right, so you let me know if there's any good folks out there, and we'll see if we'll be able to bring them on board.
Sure.
Look forward to a new exciting era, and all the best in Europe. Have fun there.
Thank you.
All right.